You actually killed it with that impression. you win another octave. Out of body experience right there.
Oh my god. Call me Joyce, bro. That was hilarious.
Who are you? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hawkins. Today we're talking about season 1, episode 7, the penultimate episode in season 1, the bathtub. Trevor, how the hell are you doing, man?
I could use a bath right now. That sounds pretty damn nice. I'm great. A great episode. Every week we say it, but they continue to almost like get better in a way.
No, yeah. Could you use a nice hot salt bath where you're just floating at the top of the water? Or
I would love to do that. They have like that float therapy, you know?
I mean, they do have there's a sea out there where you go and you float, but 11 does some floating in this episode that we'll talk about here in a second. Before we get into this, make sure to hit that like button, guys. It does help out quite a bit. We enjoy doing this series. Hope you guys do as well. Let us know your favorite moment from this episode down below and all that jazz. But what are your overall thoughts on this episode? I know you kind of said it's like each one gets better every week, and I 100% agree.
What's not to love? This one, everyone gets like almost equal light. Steve gets some redemption. Hopper and Joyce make some progress, so ultimately gets them in trouble by the end of the episode. The kids all come together again. Mike and Elle are starting to really, what would it be, Malevolent? Or
I think that's what people say, Malevolent. Yeah,
Malevolent.
That's the ship name, Malevolent. So
yeah, so Malevolent, a little bit starting, and Dustin gets some more, and the pieces continue to move. They don't waste an episode, and that's what I love about the show.
No, yeah, and to kind of continue on what we built with last week with 11 being a badass, in the first 5 minutes of this episode, she goes full on superhero mode. The kids are all on their bikes, and Dustin's going shit, and they're the vans are catching up to him, and then 11 flips a van, and that's just one of the most iconic scenes in this entire show. And the way they shot it too, really impressive, because it looks CG for a second, but it also looks extremely real. So hats off to them. This came out so long ago. They've come so far with the visuals, but they really killed it with the scene.
I would say, it looked a little CG, but I watched this interview recently with David Harbour about season 1. They had no money. They just got sent out to Atlanta and they're filming. And then season 2 came around, and it was the hundreds of people from Netflix were flying in on helicopters, welcome. But that's what was more impressive. When after I watched that, I was it made me love it even more. A real small budget show, and that's generally what's the big hitters for Netflix. The ones that they don't think are gonna pop off, they pop off. I love how they film it. All the kids just,
I know,
and then Justin's later in the episode, she flipped the car, and it was awesome. Just a goober little kid, and everything about this episode really works. Again, on the vibes and stuff, but how they continue to move the chips and everything, and then we're really seeing Dr. Brenner come after them. We've seen the almost Easter eggs of the van throughout the couple episodes. Now the vans are doing home investigations basically, and proving that yet again 11 is the dangerous person alive.
Kind of talking about 11, they really give us even more backstory on her this episode. She's the front and center. The bathtub is about her getting in one of these homemade sensory deprivation takes where she can sort of find Will, locate him in the upside down, and that's a callback basically to how Dr. Brenner used her. But all the main characters are letting 11 know we're here for you. This is the first time, and watching it back, I appreciated this relationship more, seeing Joyce being a mother figure to her so early on. When Joyce is hey, I got you, I'll be right here the whole time if you get afraid, I'm right next to you. I was this has been set up all along, and it's just one of those relationships you forget about. And then in season 4, Joyce is a mother to 11, so absolutely the seeds were planted here.
That's what I absolutely love about this, and I really enjoy it. I kind of skipped over this part, but Jonathan's in the police station, and Chief shows up, and then Troy, the little bully who wetted himself and had his arm, where they're all freaking out. Hopper's get her out, but he's Jonathan, why don't you come talk to me in my office? You won't believe me. He's why don't you come talk to me in my office?
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Then he believes them, and I love that mother-daughter relationship. And 11's starting to freak out, and Joyce grabs her. I'm it's okay. You can hear it in the upside down, echoing, and chill-inducing. Dang near brings a tear to my eye. And then when she finds Will in that upside down scene, my God, hurry, right? Freaking out. It's great.
And Winona Ryder continues to prove she's a star when she's acting there. The way that it's shot with the walkie-talkie, we as the audience and all the other characters are hearing what Will's saying, but 11 is out of it because she's floating, and then Joyce is just trying to give instructions to 11 to tell Will. Really a tense scene. Really intense.
Great. And like how I love it how it echoes. They did it so well. And it's always scary when she's in the upside down. It's all black, like walking on the water. Really well done. And but she's like telling like, we're coming. Like I'm coming for him. And like Hopper's like, no, I'm going alone. She's like, his part's always a little cringe, but like, my son, Hop. My son.
You actually killed it with that impression. You win another octave. Out of body experience right there.
Oh my god. Call me Joyce, bro. That was hilarious.
That's freaking awesome. I'm starting to sweat. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, you killed it with that impression.
Thanks, man. Oh god.
Oh, that was great.
Oh,
Hopper's
shit.
a badass in this episode, though. Let's be real.
Oh man, absolutely. He's badass in every episode. But first off, can we just? I feel like we always skip over it. We have to appreciate the score a little bit. Try to fix this light. The score in the show is unbelievably.
Keep going. It's just funny to me. You did a good impression.
My son.
Oh Christ.
That's fun. When the boys in 11 they go on the run, and they go hide out at like the encampment, that we get awesome battle in season 2, like in the bus, and like Hopper's trying to like, hey kid, this is the chief, you better pick up, like we can help you. And they're like, what if it's a trap? Everyone's like, it's a trap. And then they pick up like, it's Mike, I'm here, we're all here. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, just getting hyped up. And then like that guy comes after him, like, oh my god, someone's here. Like, why are you really scared? Like 11 can just prove no one could stop her. No one. It's like, I'm not too scared, but like then Hopper comes in the door. Like his entrances, I would say like that's a TikTok. Rank Hopper's entrances.
Dude,
because
yes.
that one right there is so underrated. He comes in, you're just like, and it plays a little tiny score, like the or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so good. And you just get hyped up. And Hopper, he's my favorite. There's no denying it. He's my favorite.
He's my favorite too. He enters the bus. He's like, let's go. And he's like, we got to get out of here. And even before that too, like Dustin has a really great line where he's like, Lando Calrissian. He's like talking about Empire Strikes Back, how Lando like betrays Han and him. So yeah, there's just a lot of lovable moments with Dustin there. And again, Hopper, we'll talk about him in a second and what happens at the end of the episode. But a character here who's beginning a little turnaround for his character arc is Steve Harrington. My man, you love him. I love him. He is the biggest asshole ever in the last episode. And in this episode, he's kind of had a little bit of a change of heart. He's like telling Tommy and Carol, you guys suck. And like, you don't have to be like this and all this stuff. He goes back to even clean the theater sign. So he's having a change of heart. He's trying to better himself. And this is the beginning of a new path for Steve Harrington.
This is when I started to like him. I'm a very forgiving person. Like every show, a guy will be a scoundrel and then like he does something nice and I'm like, oh, he's not that bad. Same with Dr. Brenner. I always went back and forth. I'm like, oh, he's kind of nice, but he's a terrible human being. Steve, this is when he started to win me over. Because when I first watched this, I was not Team Steve. I hated Steve. And everyone's like, you're going to love him. And you start to love him, especially in the finale, which we'll get to next week, which I'm so excited for. Oh, give him that bat, baby. But
lots of good stuff to talk about there.
Steve's not even really in it. This episode, and he's in it a couple bit, but then his friend had a great line, like, you want to fight me now because you couldn't take Jonathan Byers.
Yeah, and he's like all up in his face. He's like,
I would not recommend it. You're like, damn, Steve, that's a fact. You can get your ass whooped again.
You really would, dude. Steve like went out kind of sad, but again, cleaning the theater sign, and we have a great Steve moment to talk about next week, which excites me. I'd say another slept on moment from this episode would be when Dustin calls Mr. Clark to figure out how to like make the sensory deprivation take, and he interrupts like they're watching The Thing from 1982. That's just a cute little moment.
That's
wanted
the thing.
Wanted to mention it. The Thing, from 1982. Yep.
Oh, I know that. We knew a fun fact. It's bubblegum and melted plastic.
Yeah.
But he calls him and then he's like, Dustin, why don't we talk about this on Saturday? Trying to go lay with this girl and all that. And he's like, you told me never stop being curious. And now you're telling me to stop being curious?
Yeah.
Great phone scene. How much? Okay. Thanks, Mr. Clark. Bye. Yeah. 11 or not 11. I'm sorry. Nancy.
I want to talk about Nancy too, because this is like the first time in the whole show where we see Nancy and Mike as like siblings. And Nancy was like, I was so worried about you, Mike. And like, they actually show that. And then future seasons, I feel like they kind of go away from their sibling relationship. This is like the most we see it.
I wish they did better with their sibling relationship, because like this one here, they hit hard. He's like, I was so worried about you. And he was like, yeah, me too. Like, what? Yeah. But like from this point on, they could have done it to where they didn't talk all the time, but they were definitely better off. He's like, so is Jonathan your boyfriend now? And then she's like, do you like 11? No, ew, gross. And she's like, what? And you're just like, yeah, 11's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they will go hard in season 5 on that relationship. I think that because it's the last season, I think we're going to see more Mike and Nancy for sure. But talking about 11, this is the episode where they like almost kiss, correct? Like that happens very early in the episode, I want to say.
The opening.
The opening, yeah, like right before the car chase.
I thought I was like, did I miss something? Like it kind of just started with them.
No, I agree too. I think I rewound. Like I was like,
I had to.
Did I zone out for a second? Yeah, I did the same thing.
I legit thought something else happened because it's like just them in the room together, and they're like about to kiss, and someone barges in. And they're like, oh, yeah, like, oh snap! Like I was like, what? It's out of nowhere, you know?
No, yeah, dude. Ted Wheeler sucks, by the way.
I was literally about to say that.
Same wavelength.
God, I was literally like, you got Karen and Ted, and Karen's freaking out. God love Karen, but Ted is he's like a male Karen. He's just annoying. I can't stand him. Oh, the kids are running.
He's the most oblivious character in the show, without question.
Without question, you know, he might be a very nice person in real life, but this character sucks. Major
sucks, man. You know what else sucks? At the very end, when Hopper and Joyce get captured at Hawkins' lab.
Yes, dude.
It's a bummer. They went there because they were going to like the gate to go and find Will, because that's Hopper's like talking to 11 at one point in the episode about like where the gate is, and it's like by the water tank or whatever. And then he already saw it because when he broke into Hawkins lab and got knocked out earlier this season, so he's going back there. And the next episode is when they go into the Upside Down, which is insane. Like episode 8 has some insane moments, dude. So Castle Byers is also talked about a lot here, and the episode ends there with Will in Castle Byers, and we like hear something coming. And then the Demogorgon jump scares. I didn't jump this time, obviously. I saw it coming, but it is like it's a jump scare to end, and then the stakes are the highest they've been in season 1 as we head into that finale. But as we do every week, we have our favorite moment, like favorite quote, favorite character, all that.
Yeah.
Do you have any that come to mind?
Favorite quote is the first time we hear it. Friends don't lie.
Ooh.
You know, like it's like 11 says it, but they always say like a friend will never lie to you. But like the friends don't lie quote was actually 11's, and it was never like certain on that because like Lucas had talked about everything. So she tells Lucas that they have a nice little like moment back. But for best moment, you have to go the bathtub scene. In my opinion, that moment's fantastic, chill inducing. Everyone's so good. Like just watching like 11, like it might have been hard to film. Would you laugh in that moment or anything like that? Because like you're just all sitting there trying to look concerned and scared because there's no sound effects like they're doing. You know, it's like them just sitting there. It's just great. And it's a great moment. And floating in the salt bath. That's my favorite moment. Friends don't lie. Performance, a little bit tougher. I'm going to go with the kid, Troy. Yeah, I thought he was really captivating.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Probably got to give it to Joyce or Hop. Absolutely. Or maybe Dustin. He had quite a bit to do this episode.
Yeah, fair. I'm going to say, for my performance, I'm going Millie Bobby Brown as 11. She has a lot to do this episode. This is her like standout episode so far in the show, like her breakthrough moment almost. Just really, really well done there. The way she looks terrified when she has to go back into the salt bath, and then when she sees Will. So that's my favorite performance. Favorite moment, I got to go at the very beginning when 11 flips the van. That's just iconic. I love it so much. And favorite quote, I'll have to say the Lando Calrissian thing from Destin, because I love the Star Wars reference.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was overall just a great episode. And every time I watch it, I'm like, God, these episodes are so good.
Yeah, they fly by. I could have honestly, we've stretched this out over weeks, obviously. I could have watched season 1 in one sitting.
100%. We've done it in 8 weeks. 8 weeks now. Isn't that insane?
Next episode is going to be our 8th week in a row, and mid-September.
Got a long ways to go. I'm excited.
Got a long ways to go. I mean, and I'm excited to keep on keeping on. But overall thoughts on this episode, it is my second favorite probably of the season. My favorite, probably going to talk about next week. I love episode 3, but there's just something about this one pacing wise. It's only 42 minutes long. It flies by, not a moment wasted. So this is probably my second favorite of the season.
I would say so far, this is my favorite episode. I think this is one of the more underrated. I say this every week, but it is again more of the underrated one because no one really talks about it. It's great.
I think I'm just ready to talk about the bat scene next week. If you know, you know.
Oh my gosh, it's a great scene. I'm excited. The finale is gonna be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun to talk about. And we'll be there next week talking about season 1, episode 8, The Upside Down. Hope to see you guys there, but make sure to hit the like button. Again, comment down below your favorite moments, quotes, characters, all that from this episode in the comments down below. Head over to Trevor's channel, Film Geek, subscribe. Make sure to check out his other social medias. They are also linked down below. But thank you guys again for watching. And until next time, see you guys on the other side of the Upside Down.
My son, Hop! When you said NYU, that threw me for a whirl.
Ooh, that was good.